Welcome back to Absolutely Marvel and DC. My name is Benny, that is Dylan, that is Sal, and we are three guys that sit around and talk about your favorite TV shows, from rumors to theories to anything happening in the world of superheroes and sometimes Star Wars. And today, we're going to talk about Boba Fett. Fett! Now, I want to clarify, I have vanished because I hated episodes 1 through 4. But I am a Star Wars fan. It's tattooed to my arm.
Yes.
Which, by the way, funny side note, when I got this tattoo, The Last Jedi came out like a month afterwards, and I literally had people going, I bet you regret that. Ha! No, because I still have my childhood. Right. What are you talking about? But I decided I was going to watch 5 and 6 because everyone told me they are not Boba Fett. They are Mando 2.5.
Yep.
And I won't talk much about that. I want to bring up one thing, though. One big problem I have, and then we're going to jump into the finale because at that point I had to finish it.
Of course.
I have a question to ask both of you that I will watching all three of these back to back. There's one problem with the decision that Luke gives Grogu in 5 and 6, in my opinion. He basically represented with lightsaber or body armor, right?
Yep.
And he says, you got to remember, you live longer than everyone. A moment for you is a lifetime for others.
Right.
The moment he says that, I'm like, so go with Mando till he dies, then become a Jedi.
Exactly. Yeah.
All you've done is basically state, guy you don't know train you, or go with your surrogate father until he passes on.
Yeah. No, that's what I'm going to do.
And then become a Jedi.
Later, chump. Maybe by then I'll actually get a good teacher.
Maybe then you'll know how to teach me properly.
Since we know that Luke's Force Ghost is way more capable as a ghost than it is as a person.
That's true.
So I just, that was my only major thing, and I just wanted to put my comment in about Luke Skywalker's voice.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't feel like it was bad.
Oh, okay.
I didn't feel like it was good.
Right.
I just felt like every time he spoke, it felt like it was dubbed.
Yeah.
Which it was.
Yeah.
But it had that dubbed feeling. Yeah.
I saw it again, and I was like, the voice wasn't as jarring the second time, but I see what they're doing. I wish it was just somebody else.
I really do think they should have just recast the role. The CG thing I'm not a fan of.
I like the
don't
CG
like
right
this.
now. I think it's
Do you?
I think it's working. I'm like, no.
Okay. But, okay, that's all I wanted to say about that. So let's talk about the finale, which I want to quote, apparently has the worst ratings out of the entire series.
Doesn't surprise me in the least.
Yeah,
My theory
that
is
makes sense.
everyone just wanted more Mando.
Yeah.
They were like, why is Boba Fett back?
Well, this is like, I haven't seen a more divisive this isn't divisive. Universally reviled Star Wars show. Like, no one is talking about how much they love the show, unless you watch TikTok, in which case they're like, whoa, Boba Fett!
Yeah.
But,
So be excited about everything.
Exactly.
I mean, the quick roundup that I normally do, everyone showed up, everything went good, they won, Grogu had a really sweet and touching moment.
That was great, yeah.
I got a little misty-eyed, big fight was great, riding the Rancor was great, then the Rancor going crazy was great. What did you guys think of the episode?
I don't know if anybody else resonates with this, but the whole Rancor section was great, but I couldn't not think of the Star Wars Connect minigame where you play as a Rancor and you're destroying Tatooine.
I loved that Connect game. That was the only thing Connect ever did that was good.
Wow. That was a deep cut. I do remember that game, and I do remember having a blast. I did not think of it until you mentioned it. So, no, I did not think of the
couldn't get it out of my head. Because it just,
amazing.
whenever
just like
I see
dancing
a full
with
Rancor,
Han Solo.
that's what I think of.
Dancing with Han Solo.
That you can never escape.
No.
That horrible
That's
Han
burned
Solo
in
song.
forever.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, let's I love that they opened this episode answering with Grogu's question. Like, what did he pick? Oh, that's what he picked.
Yeah.
We're good. I thought we were gonna hold that reveal. Like, we all knew what he was gonna pick. There's no way that it was gonna be like, nope, he's gone.
Yeah.
We all knew what he was gonna pick. So I love that they just went into it instead of like 30 minutes into the episode, he just shows up with the lady from the port.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. What a punk Luke is. Oh, you don't want the lightsaber? R2, get this little asshole out of here.
Kick this guy out of here. I was really hoping he also just grabbed the lightsaber and was like, screw
I
this.
I thought
Bye.
he was gonna bust out the lightsaber too, and I was like, oh no. But yeah, no.
I think if he had grabbed it, he should have just given it to Mando, and then Mando would have had
A
the
lightsaber?
darksaber
Yeah.
and the lightsaber.
Yeah,
That would have been a good combo.
Yeah.
I don't know about this episode. It was weird. It was really weird. Like, okay, so overall, I kind of enjoyed the episode. My biggest complaint is Cad Bane, actually.
What?
So, okay, I liked Cad
Love
Bane's
him.
portrayal. I liked him being in the show. I liked everything about him. The problem I had is we did 1 through 4 episodes of Boba Fett where he's not even mentioned. Then we don't do Boba Fett for 2 episodes, and now we have an antagonist, which at first I was like, okay, he's just the guy to fight, but then they start talking like they have this crazy history.
They do have a crazy history.
Well, they do.
Exactly, and they do, and I know it's from the books and all that other stuff, but I'm like, why are you alluding to this? And you had 6 episodes and
know.
not once did you mention
it.
this.
They could have had
Well-
like the Syndicate could have had Cad Bane kill the Tuskens, and then he would have had a personal stake and like fighting
Yeah.
Cad Bane a little bit more because he already has a personal stake. I mean, like the gunslinger scene between Fett and Cad Bane is obviously an homage to the cartoon, but like. But like, if you didn't watch the cartoon, like that was one of the things that Mando did a really nice job of like, if you didn't see the cartoon, at least you know. Like, I'll give you a little bit of context for where these characters are, at least in the context of the story itself. You know, like
That's something that I've been praising this show for, like, since the beginning, of where they introduce stuff from the current extended universe, and it's not like if it needs to be explained, they'll explain it, like
Right.
with all the stuff in episode 5 about Mandalore.
Yeah.
But I think I'll agree. Cad Bane definitely like I think him just showing up was fine because
Yeah.
all you need to know is he's like this cool friggin' blue guy
scary,
who's here to kill people.
scary gunslinger, right? I'm
And
down.
I think
Yeah.
that would have been it, because then you're like, oh, the Syndicate got serious. They
Yeah.
hired this
Right.
guy. But then we start spouting the background, and I'm like, okay, I know that, and I know Sal's probably going to know that, and I assume
Yeah.
Dylan knows that,
Yeah.
and my brother's going to know that. But what about the people that aren't in the know of like all the history?
Right, but like I
of
feel like Jon
Star-
Favreau doesn't know that.
But Dave Filoni definitely
But
knows
Dave
that.
Filoni does, and that's why he's in the show at all.
Right.
No, I loved this episode. I had a great time. A lot of emotional moments. I like didn't want the Rancor to die. I liked Mando and Grogu getting back together. I like felt for Boba Fett, despite the fact that like they could have. I was really hoping this was going to be what I thought it was going to be, which is like the Godfather Part 2 flashbacks, where it's like Fett
Right.
knew that the other families weren't going to back him, so he like had Fennec kill them like way ahead of time. But instead, he's just like, they betrayed me, and I'm like, of course they betrayed you.
I do love that the whole show's kind of like re-characterization of Boba Fett is that he's kind of a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, he's like a big rube.
Yeah, he is. Right.
That's what I don't like about this. Like okay,
That's
later
what he's
on,
always been, though.
that's what I didn't like. Okay, you know what? I have to pick something, so we have something to dislike.
there's only one thing
The
I
way
didn't
the way they portrayed Boba Fett in general. Like when the kids are like, no, we're gonna stay in this unprotected bar where we need to protect the city. He's like, we have a fortress.
Right.
They're like, no, we're staying here. He's like, then we're staying here. No, are you not a soldier?
Yeah.
That is the worst idea you've ever had. Like,
Yeah, but then you get some really awesome moments like Mando and Boba Fett working together and him being like, this is the way. And you're like, and Fett doesn't know what that means. So he's like, man, like that's a Mandalorian. Like this guy knows what's up. Like that was, and them backing together and
that was a
things,
great
like,
scene.
Amazing.
I think
yeah.
my main issue with this overall is that because the episode is one giant fight, and
yeah, that's really all it is, which makes it hard to talk about.
yeah. Theoretically, that's fine, and we've had many episodes come through this channel that have been giant fights.
Yep.
You need those. But when the choreography like isn't inherently interesting and more to the point, or like to my point, the problem with it of everything just kind of solves itself like a friggin' paint by numbers. Like, oh, no, there's no way out of this one. Oh, here comes this guy who's gonna open a new door. Oh, but then there's no way out of this one. Here comes another set of guys, and it's like, okay, this is just completely predictable, and I've seen it a million times.
You bring up the choreography, so I want to talk about the latest Twitter just finding something to shit on Boba Fett about.
The spin that this mod does.
Dude, no, but like that when that happened, I was like, the hell was that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm fine with what the hell was that, but there are people that are like livid on Twitter about this.
That's because they like professionally needed to hate the speed biker guys anyway, so they're like, see, justification, he did that spin, and like, no, the spin, stupid. Like the best dubs are the ones where it's Anakin going, "I'll try spinning. That's a good trick." While he does that, and I'm like, nice, good.
I thought of the thing I thought of when he did the spin was like in Halo. If you do a 360 and then kill someone, you get a badge that goes 360.
Nice. What would have been amazing is if he did the spin and he got shot while in mid spin.
Yeah.
And then they go,
Like
"Why did you do that?"
Quicksilver
He's like, "I
style.
thought it would look cool." And then he dies.
I just love that out of this entire episode, that's the thing blowing up my Twitter is the problem with the episode.
Right. Well, because it's not
the portrayal
glaringly
of
dumb.
Yeah, but it's like it's not the portrayal of Boba Fett, never really getting a true redemption in this.
Yeah.
Not the issue of like Luke taking the ship over. No, it's the guy spinning, and I'm like, it's a show about space wizards fighting giant alien monsters and robots that can blow up walls on goofy-looking bikes that look like they're from the 70s, and a guy with that they called Tailhead as a racist slur.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, and you're gonna go, yes, but. The spin, man.
Yeah.
The spin.
Yeah. Overall, though, like busting out the Rancor, we all knew that was coming. I'm glad it happened. We're all excited about it. The fact that like when the Rancor got free, it just started tearing things up. I'm like, that's what it would do. I like that.
That's a Rancor.
I like that he was riding it awkwardly, though. I actually liked that.
Yeah.
That he was like, boo.
I was kind of hoping that like Boba Fett would show up and tame the Rancor since it imprinted on him, and it would have given Boba Fett like something to do.
Something to do.
Yeah, but
This
Grogu
show does not
taming
care
him,
about Boba Fett.
No, it didn't. It was like an excuse to do anything other than Boba Fett.
Yes.
The final episode, look, the final episode, Boba Fett's role was reduced to just agreeing with everyone.
Yeah.
While Mandalorian basically beat the robots, Grogu beat the Rancor, and Fennec killed the Syndicate.
That was awesome. What a great moment.
Great scene.
Yeah. I saw that and I'm like, why isn't Fennec in charge? Who said Boba Fett
at the
should
end,
do
she's
this?
thinking the same thing.
She kind of definitely is, yeah.
Like they're walking side by side.
also-
She's like, "You got to do this." He's like, "Yeah, I kind of like it." And she's like, "Yeah."
That's gonna be like the three of them did everything.
Yeah.
Boba Fett was there for the ride.
Right.
Talking about how this show is completely uninterested in Boba Fett. If you don't count the mid-credit scene, the very last shot of this entire season is of the Mandalorian and Grogu.
No.
Okay,
The last
I
shot of
loved
this
that callback to
series.
R2 though. I loved that callback to R2.
Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I loved there was a reunion in this episode that I loved and wish we could have gotten more of, and it was R2D2 meeting R5D4 again. Because the last
true.
time they saw each other in the original expanded universe canon, R2 sabotages R5 in the Sandcrawler so it'll malfunction so he can get with the Larses. So if that's in your headcanon, you're like, "Oh, R5, you're alive. Thank God."
Piss.
like R5 going, "Is that you?" And R2 being like, "Oh, I gotta go. Get out of the ship. Get out of the ship. I gotta go. Come on." I was like, "Yes, are you kidding me?" R5 and R2 meeting again for the first time again on Tatooine. That was just.
I didn't even make that connection, so yes, that's good.
It's so like, who cares? But I was like, "Oh, look at that!" I'm also glad that Amy Sedaris gets to hook up with the Twi'lek coward. Like, you know,
why is she so horny?
why not? You know, you've seen Tatooine. Now the
That's
sex
fair.
bar's
It's
gone.
pretty barren.
I mean, poor
Take what you can get.
poor Jennifer Beals is gone. One of my favorite new characters in all of Star Wars. Not since Ula has a Twi'lek been so hot.
Oh, right. The one that got blown up.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
like, damn it. Yeah, cool. Like,
I'm
I
sad
really
that
enjoyed the episode.
Our sexy male Twi'lek representation got blown up too. They're all
Yeah.
ugly until that one, and I'm like, yes,
There
finally.
were two of them. There was a yellow and a blue one. They were both equally proportionate.
Yeah,
true.
I just caught up, and I was like, "Wow, we got some hot Twi'leks."
Yeah,
Okay,
finally.
cool, here we go.
They're not all disgusting creatures.
Most of them aren't. It, like, before
Do you guys remember the original ones in the original 6 movies?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, there's only the one. It was Ula. She's a sexy dancer. 6 movies. I'm
sounds
sorry.
like I
thought
remember her
3
very
movies.
well.
Yeah, she's the only one that's topless. There's a topless character in Star Wars.
I did. Wait,
Well,
what?
She has a mesh shirt on, but like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's,
Well, there's no bras in space.
No bras in space. Just ask Carrie
No
Fisher.
bras
Oh,
in
you can't.
space.
But yeah,
Carrie Fisher,
she
yeah.
says, yeah, that's right. That's right.
So anyway, yeah, no, I mean, overall, I liked this episode. I don't understand why people are giving it 50% other than they just wanted Boba Fett out of his own series at this point.
Yeah.
If this does get a season 2, I don't see it being about Boba Fett again.
There's
They're
no
just
way.
like, nah.
It'll never get another season.
I don't know what happened. Like, that's what I really want to discuss here now.
Right. What happened?
What happened? Because we got 4 episodes in and they turned it into Mandalorian.
We've talked about, Sal and I have talked a lot about how this show was a false start from the beginning, just because like you try to make a show interesting, like an interesting show about Boba Fett, and the Mandalorian happens, and once you already do that, then you have Boba Fett, who's not a character, so you have to turn him into a character, and then eventually you realize, oh, there's nothing here. Let's make the Mandalorian for a little bit. And then
Do you feel like that's how happened? Because my theory right now is they got to like 3 or 4 episodes in and did it through a test group, and they were like, they're not liking it. Like we need we got to do 7 episodes of this.
I mean, I assume they shot it all at once because like that's how you make shows. They didn't have a chance to go like remake Mandalorian. I think that was just like part of the plan. But maybe through the writing process or the planning phases, they were like, there's not enough of a show here. Like there's 7 episodes and there wasn't enough show.
Yeah. I mean, I guarantee this, before it was even greenlit, when it got greenlit, it was greenlit on the idea of Boba Fett. And that's it.
Yeah.
There was no story to it. Like,
well, because it ends. Like the end of The Mandalorian season 2 is the same as the end of the Boba Fett show, which is Boba Fett's a badass with Fennec Shand and they sit on Jabba's throne and they're in charge. Like that's the same thing. And it's actually cooler before he does it than it is after he earns it. And I was like, for a minute, I actually thought, like, because I just forgot that, like, the opening of the show is the same as the ending of The Mandalorian, that, like, somehow the whole thing was actually telling the story of that last shot. That was the first shot of the end of Mandalorian, where they get on the throne and they do everything. But then I remembered he killed Baby Fortuna and stuff. But it's like,
right.
I'm telling you, man, like you could have fixed this show with like 2 big changes, and it would have just been like just Godfather in space. Just watch him. He's humble. He's old. He's tired, but he wants to be in charge, and he's just and he won't. And there's some things he won't do, and like that's the big change. And you just watch him like rise through, and like maybe he's got like he's idealistic, and he changes over time and becomes more bitter. Or not, or everyone else around him is bitter, and he's the one who's like, no, and that he inspires them because he won't be like the compromising scumlord that Jabba was. And it's like, instead we just got this thing that has admittedly cool, fun moments in it, but ultimately is narratively not terribly satisfying. Like ultimately, the story of Boba Fett was the Tusken stuff. That was the story.
Right. It was like 2 episodes tops of like an actually interesting
that was kind of
plot
interesting back then
they
too.
threw
I was
away.
like, okay, I'm getting into this. This is all right. And then when he went over to the Syndicate, that's when it was like, now you're just losing me. This isn't interesting.
No one
what are
cares.
these bikes? What are these kids?
And unfortunately, like even like some of the world building and the fan service got in the way of time that could have been spent setting up the plot threads that actually were paid off in the show, like the Syndicate killing the Tuskens, right? Like clearly Boba had a kinship with the Tuskens. He has like a really it's maybe the first time he ever felt like he was part of a family, outside of like my dad raising me on Camino. But like he got his head chopped off by a Jedi, and where the hell did I go after that? You got to watch the cartoons to find out. But like he belongs with the Tuskens. And then to find out the Syndicate killed them, but we don't know the Syndicate killed the Tuskens until the Syndicate says they killed the Tuskens. Now, instead of going to Anchorhead and meeting the fun characters that got cut out of deleted scenes from Star Wars, maybe we should have had a scene where like Cad Bane hired the speeder bikes to kill the Tuskens, or maybe we should have had a scene where the Syndicate had the speeder bike band kill the Tuskens, so we know. So like we know, but Boba doesn't, And then for 5 years
that's
he's
what I was
pissed,
saying. That's my issue with the Cad Bane thing. That and the Syndicate would have been great antagonists.
Yeah.
But what they did is they made the Syndicate, and they didn't even tell us why the Syndicate cared, other than he's causing problems. Like if early on, maybe we had seen, even when the Tusken thing happened, what if Cad Bane was off in the distance, silhouetted, watching it go down? And he goes back to the syndicate and says, "Oh, I've done it.
It's done. Yeah,
You know-
yeah. All you had to
And
do.
that right there would have started to set it up.
Yeah.
And maybe at some point, Fennec asks Boba Fett about his history. And he explains, I was trained by this old guy, Cad Bane.
Yeah.
He's very evil. You know what I mean?
No.
A couple of lines would have given more rationale
Yeah.
to the syndicate and Cad Bane.
Because instead, like, Cad Bane's introduced and then dies.
Right.
As far as, like, the viewer's concerned, or if you're a hardcore Clone Wars fan, you're like, you finally
Yeah, that was me.
canonized, like, in live action, Cad Bane, and then killed him. Now, I know, I've watched it, I've seen the thing, like, apparently, like, he's got upgrades, he constantly upgrades himself, so, like, at the end, he gets shot, he walks away, there's, like, a light flickering, like, or beeping on his chest, so maybe Cad Bane isn't really dead.
He's maybe okay.
But,
yeah.
but like, they're not making any more Boba
just
Fett
like
shows.
the Marshal.
Yeah.
Like the Marshal's maybe
Right.
okay.
Oh yeah. No, I knew
definitely
that
okay.
because he shoots the marshal once up here, and he shoots the deputy 4 times all here. So like that was our way of
also,
going.
the
Like,
marshal is now at a back to tank, so he's fine.
yeah, and but also like the cyborg making guy is there to like give him enhancements
Right.
and Fennec shand him up. But yeah, also the I'm sorry, like. I don't want to bandwagon on the hate for the speeder bike gang, like for the team, you know, the Power Rangers, but they suck. And
Power Rangers.
They're lame.
And what's worse is like they're not very good actors.
No,
No.
I think that's what bothered me the most when like she was trying to convince him to stay in like the rundown bar, and I'm like, look, I'm an ex-soldier, and if some kid is telling me, no, we're going to defend our area, and I'm like, look, I'm here to help you
Right.
save this area.
Right.
You come with me, or I'm going to be fine in the fortress.
Right. Well,
Like,
they're just gonna they're still gonna come to me, and we'll kill them, and there won't be any like collateral damage.
and why don't they use the line of like Mos Eisley is us, not the buildings. We can rebuild those. There you go.
What? But those buildings are like really old and look like they take a lot of work to build. Like,
Especially like when their solution, like the people's solution, inevitably becomes just get on the roof and shoot them from above.
Yeah.
Like, hey, you both have jetpacks. Maybe
Yeah.
you don't need to stay in a bunker that's been blown up.
also,
Just fly up there and shoot
and
people.
not to nitpick, but like if tanks that size can have shield generators post Empire, how come no TIE fighters did? How come X-wings don't have shield generators if those guys do? Like,
They were cutting costs.
You know,
Palpatine didn't have enough money.
yeah, but what about the X-wings then? Like, I mean,
Don't worry about it.
I get like
I before we go too long on this, I want to bring up one big thing. How did you guys feel about the Mando Grogu reunion? I felt it was on there
great.
just long enough to be like, yes,
it was great.
yes,
Yeah.
You know, like that was
Anytime
great.
Anytime the Mandalorian is on screen, this show becomes a show I want to watch.
Yes. yeah. And I'm like, having seen how bad Luke is botching the Jedi, I'm like, good, get away from those people.
Yeah, leave.
You're better off with Mando.
I mean, it's just set up that he is going to botch the Jedi. Like
We know he
definitively
does.
is
Yeah,
go-
it's in canon.
That's true.
It's going to take about 20 years, but yeah. Yeah. No,
Are they going
I'll
to
say,
show
like-
that story?
I hope not.
Like over the course of all of these shows,
Yes.
like it's just
Probably not.
I think people were expecting young Ben Solo to be in this show, and I'm like, no.
Is that not a comic book already? I feel like that's a comic book already.
Yeah, but they already they took things from the comics and undid it anyway. Like Yoda's lightsaber was burned in a big public display when the Empire took over.
and that's in the new
In
ones
the
because I remember
comic
that
books.
comic.
Yeah, like Charles Soule or something wrote that. Like, and he's on the brain
okay.
trust of this show.
Yeah.
It's like, and he was like,
Well.
who cares? And like,
They had a whole comic about getting Darth Vader's lightsaber back, and they were showing them burning everyone else's lightsaber.
Yeah.
So,
and one
and
of
that
them was
is
Yoda's.
Disney canon. That's not old
Right.
canon. That's Disney
Right.
canon.
Yeah. No more Jedi. I'm happy to not have them anymore. I like seeing characters that are just folk.
Yeah.
You know, am I just
Totally.
asking? For
I like
fire?
having
I
I like
like-
having them be. I like Jedi being back in that mystical
Yes.
realm. Like
There's
Yeah.
two
they're
of
not
them.
everywhere. They're not fighting everything.
Right.
We barely believe they exist.
Yeah. Can they make a show about the Ghost Crew now instead of Boba Fett? Like, can we have like the Rebels team? Just do that.
Yeah, people seem to like that for like 3 seasons. So.
I liked that show.
I liked what I saw.
I want to end this podcast here. I want to end this episode here, but I want to bring up one last thing. This show was so trying to switch it into a Mando show.
Yeah.
They even did a callback to the rebel guy that tried to arrest him on the ice planet.
I know.
Yeah.
Appa from Kim's Convenience. He's great.
But what I'm saying is, like, they didn't even do that back in the Mando show. They did it in Boba Fett,
Yeah.
where unless you saw Mando, you don't know who that
Like,
is.
what was that interaction
or that
for?
reference.
It's for everyone else because everyone who watches Boba Fett also saw Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And by that point, they're like, we're done. I mean, and what sucks is, like, I liked the idea of what the show was, and I like Boba Fett, and I actually enjoyed Tamura Morrison's acting, certainly more than I did back in the day, and I was down for a show about the ascension of Boba Fett as a crime lord, with a heart of gold. I was genuinely down, and you know, it just wasn't well constructed. Like, the story just wasn't
not
well
what we
constructed.
got.
Yeah.
But all right, that's the overall opinion. I mean, you know, I dropped off at episode 3, came back when I heard it was nothing but Mando,
Yep.
finished it up.
Oh.
I don't think it was terrible, but it's definitely... The problem is this. Like, my wife finished Mando season 2, and she got bored of Boba in episode 1.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah, just watch 5, 6, and 7.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
We forgot to talk about the song for the whole show. It's
yeah.
Which, by the way, like, this is where my wife and I disagree. I really like the Boba Fett theme. I didn't like it when I first
It's
heard it.
fun.
I was like,
I like it.
but I kind of like it. Like, it's really like it's way better than the show. And but
the Mando theme's incredible.
yeah, it is. But Boba Fett, But then the show ends and they go Fett. And then Boba Fett, and I'm like, this is dumb.
It's a good dumb though.
But I'm like, when did it air on Wednesday?
Yeah.
I've been singing it for 2 days. Like every once in a while, it's be like Fett, Boba Fett. Like, it's so stupid. But it's like Star Wars stupid. You know, where I'm like,
Yeah.
ha ha, Star Wars. It's something John Williams would never do, though.
Oh, no, definitely not.
Of course not.
He'd be like,
Oh, and no book.
hey, no book. You're right. Nobody wrote
No
anything
book.
down. But I feel like by the time the third, like by the horse crossed the finish line, everyone was just like,
Just
When are we
end the
doing
show. Just
Mando?
wrap it up.
Obi-Wan's coming out, right? That'll be our redemption again.
yeah, going back to Tatooine. Thank goodness.
He better get off that goddamn planet after in the first episode. I'm
He
tired.
can't. He has to watch
of
Luke.
Tatooine.
Why?
He could
why?
go back.
The new Star Wars Disney Extended Universe is like, we just live on a desert
Yeah.
planet. Like, that is this.
Yeah.
Have you seen Dune? We're trying to redo Dune.
It's not like you have a set that you need to reuse because you put a bunch of money into it. It's
No.
all screens.
Yeah, it's like if that set was just we set it up in Arizona. That's all we have.
No. This isn't Breaking Bad. Just change what's on the monitors.
Yeah, but it's really cheap. We figured it out now. I don't know.
we
Obi-Wan.
had a little grass when they went to the planet wherever the temple is.
Yeah.
That's true.
Do you think Rosario Dawson's gonna play Ahsoka in the Obi-Wan show? And if so, are they gonna do anything to change her age? Because it'll have to be
No idea. I was
much younger.
just thinking that. I doubt she'll show up unless she does.
If Dave Filoni is in any way involved in the Obi-Wan show, which of course
She'll
he is,
show up.
she's definitely gonna be in it.
That's fair. Yeah,
What
I
if
have
they
no
get like
idea
a
what that show
younger
is gonna be
actress to
about.
play like a younger Ahsoka?
Oh, I don't know. Here's what I'll ask:
Guess we'll see.
When didn't Obi-Wan have like a girlfriend? Kind of like there was a love interest for him in Clone Wars.
Yes.
I think she died though. I was gonna say like give him a
Yeah,
girlfriend.
she did. I don't know if she died, but she definitely existed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like the queen of Mandalore, so
Yeah!
she's probably dead.
I'm
She's
trying to
probably
end
dead.
this for 10 minutes, guys. We've
yeah,
been on
she's dead.
tangents for 10
Okay,
minutes.
sorry.
Oh, like like Boba Fett.
Oh. Thank you guys for watching Absolutely Marvel and DC, where we talk about all of your favorite superhero-themed TV shows and movies, rumors, theories, and discussions. If you enjoyed this, join the family. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell. And we'll be back with Obi-Wan in May. But don't worry, we've got to cover Moon Knight, the Batman, Doctor Strange. There's a lot of stuff coming out, and we are going to be here for the whole ride.